There are so many forms of creatine these days. By our count, we can find 11 different types, with brands claiming that their version is more effective than others. But is that just marketing, or is there actual evidence behind these claims? What we wanted to find out is which type is the best based on effectiveness, purity, absorption, and of course cost. Today, I will be ranking each type of creatine based on our 5 tiers. If you've been following the 𝘾𝙧𝙚𝙚 channel, you know we've already done 2 of these ultimate tier list breakdowns. Today is going to be the creatine one. Now, before we get started, if you want to watch the ultimate tier list for protein powders, I'll link that down below. And if you want to go watch the ultimate pre-workout tier list, I'll also link that down below for you all to watch after this video. So let's first go through the tiers. Starting off with the best of the best, it is the king of gains. This is the top tier reserved for the best creatine type, unmatched in quality and effectiveness. These types rank highly in every category based on high quality research trials. This second best tier is Creatine Paradise. Creatine types in this tier are nearly perfect in every aspect, from absorption to effectiveness. Now, there might be slight room for improvement like the cost, but you wouldn't go wrong with purchasing ones in this specific tier. Middle of the stack, exactly what it stands for, just in the middle of the pack. This is the middle ground for creatine. These types are reliable enough and do a good job. They are dependable for regular use, offering a good balance between quality, effectiveness, and value. The fourth tier, rough reps. This tier includes creatine types that are okay but fall short in more than one or more key areas, usually by a large margin. They would not be our go-to option because they tend to cost more, require more effort to consume, and generally need more research. And the last tier is hang up the scooper. The bottom tier is reserved for creatine types you'd want to 100% avoid. These forms come with significant drawbacks like poor taste, maybe low mixability, and a lack of results, often costing more and not lasting as long. In essence, these are the only ones we do not recommend on today's list. So I'm gonna start by going through all the creatines. Now, these are not specific creatine brands, but the actual creatine itself, which you're gonna see in a few minutes here. I'm also in real time gonna be ranking these and putting them in the tier list that I mentioned, so you guys can all follow along on top of the screen. The first creatine I wanna start off with is the god of creatine, which is Creatine Monohydrate, and I'm specifically gonna put it in the tier king of gains. Now, Creatine Monohydrate is the best type by far that deserves the title king of gains. This creatine has been extensively researched for decades, with countless studies consistently finding it safe, well tolerated, and highly effective. Daily supplementation of 3 to 5 grams reliably increases intramuscular creatine levels, leading to various benefits. Now, some of the many benefits this can include would be improved strength and weightlifting performance, improved muscle gain, improved endurance and cardio, improved recovery following short bursts of only intense activities such as sprinting or weightlifting, or even reduced muscle inflammation and soreness for up to 48 hours following a demanding workout. Plus, Creatine Monohydrate is the best option given its affordability and ease of use. Simply take a daily dose of 3 to 5 grams when convenient, up to how much you weigh. For reference, a 5-gram dose can cost as little as 15 cents to 17 cents, whereas other creatine forms can be multiple times more expensive. Now, my favorite Creatine Monohydrate is from Bulk Supplements. 1 scoop provides a daily dose of creatine, and the product is 100% pure and third-party tested, meaning you know that the label claims are true. Bulksupplements.com is also the cheapest place I found to buy Creatine Monohydrate. However, if you find a cheaper option, it doesn't matter which brand you go with, so long as that it's third-party tested. Now, before I move on to the next creatine, I just want to let you all know that any of the creatines that I talk about today will be linked down below in the description box and also the pinned comment. The second creatine I want to go over is Creatine Hydrochloride, or maybe you've heard it as AKA Creatine HCl, and I'm personally going to be putting this creatine at Creatine Paradise. Now, creatine hydrochloride, and I'm going to go with HCl, is another popular form claimed to absorb better and be easier on the digestive system. It's made by binding creatine to hydrochloride molecules, which mix more effectively in water. The one major complaint with creatine monohydrate is that it's hard to dissolve, so this is where Creatine HCl is meant to solve that issue. It should be noted that there is no definitive evidence that says dissolvability has any impact on creatine's effectiveness. With Creatine HCl, brands often recommend taking just 1 to 1.5 grams to reap the same benefits as creatine monohydrate, which requires 3 to 5, like I mentioned, making for a more cost-effective option. However, research also suggests that the lower dose recommended by brands is insufficient. According to a 2015 paper, subjects supplementing with 5 grams of creatine monohydrate or the same dose of creatine HCl saw similar muscle growth. In contrast, subjects taking 1.5 grams of creatine HCl daily didn't see the same result. Anecdotal evidence from reviews suggesting that creatine hydrochloride is easier on the stomach stomach and doesn't lead to bloating. The problem is that these anecdotal reportings are not as reliable as research, and such findings could be because many people fall for false claims that they only need 1/3 of the actual dose. The problem is that such a dose would also not bring any benefits. Lastly, there is a 2024 study comparing monohydrate to HCl and their effects on hormonal changes like body composition and strength. When combined with resistance training, equal doses of the two forms led to similar benefits. The third creatine I want to talk about today is buffered creatine, and I'm personally going to be putting this creatine at middle of the stack. Buffered creatine is a form that combines creatine molecules with alkaline substances such as sodium bicarbonate or magnesium to raise the pH and make for a less acidic solution. This is suggested to help improve absorption, make it easier on the stomach, and limit the conversion of creatine to creatine, a byproduct of creatine metabolism. Like creatine HCl, buffered creatine is claimed to be as effective as monohydrate at smaller doses of around 1.5 grams, typically taken in 2 750 milligram capsules. A 2012 paper debunked that claim by showing that the manufacturer recommended 1.5 gram dose of buffered creatine was not enough to increase muscle creatine levels to the same extent as the standard 5 gram dose of creatine monohydrate. Subjects still had to take 5 grams of buffered creatine, equivalent to about 6.5 standard capsules, to see the same performance and body composition benefits from monohydrate. That said, no research finds buffered creatine to offer any benefits over creatine monohydrate. I recommend this creatine form only if you prefer to take capsules instead of a powder and don't mind paying extra for that convenience, since it's usually 500% more expensive than monohydrate. The fourth creatine I want to talk about is creatine magnesium chelate, and I'm personally going to put this creatine at middle of the stack. Creatine magnesium chelate is a form where creatine molecules are bound to magnesium, which is suggested to improve creatine absorption by leveraging magnesium's role in energy production and muscle contractions. That said, while the mechanisms sound plausible, the limited research on this creatine form doesn't show any benefits over creatine monohydrate. In one paper, researchers compared the effects of this creatine on intracellular water levels inside the muscles, not under the skin, and power output. In essence, subjects taking this creatine had a significant boost in muscle strength. This might be because their muscles absorb more water, suggesting they had more creatine in their muscles. The extra water in the muscle cells might also help them build more protein. While those are promising findings, a recent systematic review pointed out the fact that most creatine forms are never compared to monohydrate. That said, creatine magnesium chelate can still be effective when taken at large enough dose of around 5 grams daily. For instance, in one recent paper, such a daily dose led to better performance on repeated sprint ability tests in soccer players, approximately 6.5% faster in total time and 5% faster in first sprint of the test. However, unless you're not getting enough magnesium from your diet, supplementing with it is likely not superior to the king of gains, monohydrate. In any case, Swanson 100% pure creatine Magna Power is a decent product to consider. Again, I haven't tested it personally, but I like the brand reputation and the number of positive reviews that it has online. The fifth creatine I want to talk about today is Creatine HMB, and I am putting this at Creatine Paradise. Creatine HMB is a creatine form bound to beta-hydroxy-beta-methylbutyrate, HMB, a leucine metabolite. Leucine is one of the 3 branched chain amino acids, the BCAAs, and is known for its ability to stimulate muscle protein synthesis. According to a recent systematic review, HMB plays multiple roles in the human body, the most important of which are protein metabolism, insulin activity, and skeletal muscle hypertrophy. The same paper points out that HMB can improve athletic performance thanks to its ability to upregulate certain pathways and hormones, such as the mTOR pathway, which has various roles, including stimulating muscle growth. HMB tests have been carried out with various athletes, and research predictably shows improvements in endurance, power, strength, and even body composition. According to papers from the review, 3 grams of HMB daily reliably improves fat-free mass up to 5.3 kilograms, or 11.6 pounds, reduces body fat by up to 7.4 pounds, and improves strength by up to 18% more compared to placebo. You can supplement with HMB separately. For instance, Nutri-Cost HMB powder is a good option to explore to reap these benefits. Plus, you can supplement with creatine monohydrate for all of its advantages. However, if you're going to take both supplements, you should consider a more convenient and cost-effective option such as creatine with HMB. I recommend Transparent Labs Creatine HMB, a brand with an excellent reputation in the industry and products that come with third-party testing and a guarantee of purity. The sixth creatine I want to talk about today is Creatine Nitrate. Now, I'm personally putting this Creatine Nitrate, at middle of the stack. Creatine Nitrate is a newer form where the creatine molecules are bound to a nitrate base. The product is claimed to absorb better and combine the beneficial effects of creatine and nitrate. According to research, nitrate consumption can improve oxygen capacity by 5%, time to exhaustion, how long you can actually exercise, power output to a smaller degree, and time trial performance. Nitrate supplementation can also show improvements in energy efficiency and muscle contractions, suggesting that the body needs less energy to produce the same amount of work. When it comes to creatine nitrate specifically, some data suggests that it reliably improves muscle creatine levels, similar to monohydrate when taken a large enough dose, at least 3 grams daily. It also leads to similar improvements in strength, workload, peak power, and sprint performance over 28 days of supplementation. A 2024 study also found benefits to creatine nitrate. In it, subjects taking 5 grams of creatine nitrate daily saw the improvements in their lifts over a 28-day period. To see those numbers, go check out the full article online, which I'll also pin down below for you. So, given the benefits associated with creatine nitrate and the fact that it seems equally as effective as monohydrate, you have 2 options. Option 1, supplement with nitrates and creatine monohydrate, or 2, take the 2 supplements together in the form of creatine nitrate. This product is much more expensive than monohydrate, which is 16 cents per serving for monohydrate and $1.50 for nitrate, but the additional benefits could be well worth it. If you want to test this creatine type, then this option from ASN offers a good bang for your buck. The only reason why this creatine form is 1 tier lower than the Creatine HMB is that it costs approximately 30% more per serving, so keep that in mind. The 7th creatine I want to talk about today is Creatine Citrate, and I'm personally putting this one at hang up the scooper. Creatine citrate is a form where the product is combined with citric acid. This acid is found in citrus fruits and it can improve creatine's flavor. That said, if flavor alone is your concern and you don't like the taste of monohydrate, you can try a different approach like mixing your creatine into a protein shake, a juice, or consider acting flavor drops like the little Mio squirters. Plus, there is not a lot of research that compares creatine citrate to monohydrate. A claimed benefit is that creatine citrate mixes better in water, which could theoretically improve absorption. However, here's what research suggests. Differences in bioavailability are thought to be unlikely since absorption of creatine monohydrate is already close to 100%. Most recently, a 2022 systematic review included findings on creatine citrate. Now here's a quote. There were no consistent findings of performance enhancement among alternative forms of creatine when compared to placebo. Plus, creatine citrate is difficult to find and is typically found as part of a stack rather than standalone product. The 8th creatine I want to talk about today is Creatine Pyruvate, and I am putting this one at hang up the scooper. I'm going to call it Creatine PRV. Now, Creatine PRV is a form where creatine molecules are combined with pyruvic acid, which is claimed to offer some benefits, including improving athletic performance. Unfortunately, there's little research on Creatine Pyruvate, none showing any significant effects. In one study, researchers examined Creatine Pyruvate's impact on sprint and endurance performance in cyclists. Subjects took 7 grams daily for 7 days or a placebo. There were no significant differences between the 2 groups. That said, 7 days is not enough for creatine to build up in the body and offer any benefits, regardless of the form. Therefore, the study methodologies could have been flawed. The 9th creatine I want to talk about is Creatine Malate, and I'm going to be putting this creatine at rough reps. Creatine malate is created by bonding creatine to malic acid, an organic compound found in many fruits, including grapes, apples, plums, and peaches. In a 2014 paper, researchers examined the effects of creatine malate supplementation on athletic performance and body composition in sprinters and long-distance runners. The subjects were given 0.07 grams of creatine per kilogram of body weight, so 5 grams for a person weighing 70 kilograms or 154 pounds, or placebo. Here are some key findings. Anaerobic sprint performance improved by 9.2%, distance running increased by 12.6%, sprinters gained 1.7% of lean mass. Unfortunately, we don't have other research looking at creatine malate's effects and comparing it to creatine monohydrate. Plus, given how difficult the product is to find, it's best to stick to the other, better researched creatine forms. The 10th creatine I want to talk about today is Creatine Gluconate. I want to put Creatine Gluconate at hang up the scooper. Creatine gluconate is a form where creatine molecules are bound to glucose. This form is often marketed because of its supposedly quicker absorption. However, this doesn't matter because creatine doesn't work acutely. Instead, it builds up in the body and offers benefits after around 3 weeks of consistent supplementation, or around 5 days if you do a loading phase. Additionally, the standard dose is no different than that of creatine monohydrate, around 3 to 5 grams daily, which means you wouldn't get that much glucose anyway. Couple that with the lack of research, creatine gluconate is likely the last research form, apart from the couple of brief mentions in some papers. This creatine form is firmly planted in the bottom tier. And the last and 11th creatine is going to be creatine ethyl ester. And I'm personally going to be putting this at hang up the scooper. Creatine ethyl ester, also known as CEE, is a form where an ester group is attached to creatine. The idea is that esters change the properties of creatine, such as making it more fat soluble, aiming to improve its absorption. A common claim around this creatine type is that it absorbs better, so a lower dose can be equally effective as taking 5 grams of creatine monohydrate. Plus, that would limit the side effects like bloating and stomach cramps. Unfortunately, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. First, we don't have much research on this creatine form to make any bold claims. The data we do have suggests that ethyl ester is less effective than the good old king of gains, monohydrate. In one paper comparing creatine ethyl ester and monohydrate at the same doses concluded, quote unquote, when compared to creatine monohydrate, creatine ethyl ester was not as effective at increasing serum and muscle creatine levels or in improving body composition, muscle mass, strength, and power. Research also suggests that creatine ethyl ester does not have a complete creatine molecule since it's a chemically altered form of creatine. And second, we already established that creatine monohydrate has an absorption rate of close to 100%, so it's unlikely any product will absorb better or work as effectively at lower doses. While we can obsess over the minutiae of some of these different types of creatine, there is really only one creatine that firmly stands alone in the king of gains tier, and that is, as you can see, creatine monohydrate. For me, bulk supplements is where I get my creatine, but realistically, it's not the brand that matters. Just find a brand of creatine monohydrate that is strictly 100% creatine monohydrate and nothing else, and has third-party testing so that you know the label claims are true and accurate. If you enjoyed this, you'll enjoy watching my ultimate protein powder tier list video where I tested over 23 brands. Click up here in this corner to watch that video now. I hope you all have a great year ahead and see you all in the next one. Peace.